Alright, hello, this is 90.9 The Quadratic with your Algebra 2 test review video answer, or I guess test review answers video. Today and always we are brought to you by Tazo Zen Tea Glade Apple Cinnamon Spray, Starbucks, Coffee and Starbucks Gold Card, Smart Water, and Coffee Espresso. Alright, number 1, 2 guys, domains, all the X values. So I did a pretty good job of writing all these out. As much work as possible. Again, I hope that the volume stays like this the entire time. It's going to have to be kind of quick. I'm a little bit short of time this planned period. Guys, domains are the X values, ranges are the Y values. If you have a cheating X like we do in number 1, it is not a function. If you say the same X value twice, it's not a function. Now the girls, the Y values, girls just want to have fun. They can take whoever they want to the dance. If they want to take Timmy and Todd, that is fine. It's all about the cheating X. If it's no cheating X, it is a function. You list all the unique values, So if you see -1 twice, you just write it once. If you see 4 and 1 twice, for the range on number 2, you just write it once each. Alright, moving on, guys. On 3 and 5, you're going to plug 4 and then -2 into 4x minus 8. Alright, this is the Glade special. Plug it in, plug it in. You're going to plug -3 and then 1 in for x in 4 and 6. Alright, be careful. You got a square there. Guys, standard form is x and y on the same side. It's ax plus by equals c. X and y are on the same side. X and y don't have any fractions attached. And x is a positive. X is positive. The leading coefficient is positive there. So in the first one, all you got to do is move 2x over, and that's in standard form. On the second one, all you got to do is move 2y over. You got a positive 5x minus 2y equals -3. X is positive. There's no fractions. Standard form. Guys, on 9, subtract 6 from both sides and just switch x and y. X is a gentleman, always walks on the inside there. It's going to be -3x plus 10y equals 5. X has to be positive, so you multiply everything by -1. It's 3x minus 10 equals -5. Guys, on 10 and 11, the x-intercept is when y is 0. The y-intercept is when x is 0. So use the pretty much kind of using the cover-up method here. The y-intercept when x is 0. Cover up x, it's 5y equals -105. Y is a -21. The next one, the x-intercept is when y is 0. So let 0 equal 15x minus 105. Move 105 to the other side. 15x is equal to 105. On 11 here, the cover-up method. Cover up -6x, you got 3y equals 12. Y is 4. Cover up 3y, you got -6x is 12, x is a -2. That's the first page. I believe the first page is 31 points. Should be easy to get. Can't really get it easier than 12 and 13, folks. Been doing this now for 3 years since Algebra Uno, figuring out the slope. Maybe even in pre-algebra, you figured out slope. Difference of y's over the difference of x's. I always try to get a positive numerator if I can on these. So I do 11 minus 2 over -3 minus 8, or 5. You get a -8 in the denominator. Don't leave a negative in the denominator. You get -9 over 8. 13, you're going to do 7 minus a -1. That's 8 over -4 minus 4, a -8. You get -1 as your slope. To determine the slope for each equation, I meant to write, you want to get this in y equals mx plus b form. Y equals mx plus b form, because the m is the slope. Divide everything by 7. The slope is the number attached to x, and 9 over 7. Subtract 7 on 15 and then move the -10 over, so you get -6y equals -10x plus 14. -10 over -6 is the same thing as 10 over 6, which is 5/3. 5 over 3, it's kind of didn't scan very well there. Alright, 16 and 17 are more challenging. Tomorrow I used x and y instead of r. Anyway, r is a y value, so use the slope formula. You're going to do y minus r minus 3 over 6 minus 3. And you are going to simplify that. Alright, so r minus 3 over 3 is equal to 2 over 1. You're going to cross multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. Is equal to r minus 3. R is 9. On the next one, I'm going to use the second one first because I want to keep that x value, which r is. I want that to be leading so I don't have to deal with a negative. So I'm going to do negative 6 minus a negative 2. I know that's not going to give me a positive numerator, but it will give me r minus 8, which is positive r there. So I'm going to get negative 4 over r minus 8 equals negative 4 over 1. That's what the slope is. Cross multiply, do a little distribution, you get r is 9. 18 through 21, all about y equals mx plus b. I give you the slope on 18. Y equals negative 2x plus b. Substitute, plug it in, 14 in for y, negative 3 in for x. Solve for b. B is 8. Put it all together. Y equals negative 2x plus 8. The slope on 19, you're going to do 10 minus a negative 5 over negative 3 minus a negative 8. So you get 15 over 5, which is 3. Y equals 3. Funny, I didn't finish this one. Y equals 3x plus b. Choose an ordered pair, folks. Maybe put in, I hope I didn't do that again. Maybe put in 10, negative 3. Anyway, you get, and I hope you can hear this, the volume isn't cut off. You're going to get y equals 3x plus 19. Y equals 3x plus 19 is your answer. Again, you got them from class, but my fault for not finishing that one. 20, guys. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So y equals, first off, the opposite of negative 2 is a positive 2, and the reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. Y equals 1/2 x plus b. Substitute 3 in for y, 8 in for x. B is a negative 1. Y equals 1/2 x minus 1. The slope is negative 3 because parallel lines have the same slope. Y equals negative 3x plus b. Substitute 1 in for y, negative 2 in for x. Solve for b, you get negative 5 for b. Y equals negative 3x minus 5. Okay, the piecewise function, folks. You have 3 equations, equation 1, 2, and 3. So in equation 1, it's y equals negative 2. You're going to plug in negative 1 for x, that's a boundary point, and anything less than or equal to negative 1, which is negative 2. It doesn't matter what x is, y is constantly negative 2. It's a closed circle around negative 1, negative 2 because of this inequality. Negative 1, negative 2 is right there, negative 2, negative 2 is right there, and you're graphing everything to the left. That's why it's a straight horizontal line to the left. Second equation, y is the same value as x. Y equals x. So, negative 1, you're going to plug in for x, you're going to plug in 4. Always plug in the lower limit, upper limit for the middle equation. What x is, y is. So y is negative 1 here, y is 4 there. It's an open circle around negative 1 because of no equality. It's a closed circle around 4, 4 because of equality. So starting point there, end point there, it's going to make a line, segments like that. And the next one, y is equal to 7 as long as x is bigger than 4. X is greater than 4 means I'm going to have an open circle around 4, 7. Again, technically x can't be 4, that's why it's an open circle. Then I'm going to plug anything bigger than 4 in for x. How about 5? 5, 7 is right here. 4, 7 is right there. It's a graph to the right. Alright, that's going to be 6-pointer tomorrow. So is this one, guys. In order to solve or graph an absolute value equation, I want to make sure I have the vertex first. The vertex is when the absolute value is 0. So set what is inside the absolute value, x minus 3 equals 0. You get x is 3. This is always the y-coordinate of the vertex, whether you're adding or subtracting to the other side. 3, 2 is the vertex. Go 2 to the left, 2 to the right for symmetry. You could go 3 to the left, 3 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. It's arbitrary. We like 2, it's a safe distance away. Plug 5 in, folks. Plug 5 in, the bigger one, then you don't have to deal with a negative. If you plug 1 in, you get the absolute value of a negative 2, which is still positive 2 plus 2. It's 4. It's going to make a V. You don't shade at all here. It's not an inequality like the next pages are. The next page, that is. Perfect slope-intercept form here. Y-intercept of 6. And your slope is negative 2/3. You're going to go down 2 over 3. Down 2 over 3. Always test 0, 0. Test 0, 0 if you need to. If I have y is greater than some line, I'm probably going to shade above. But if you plug 0 in for x, 0 in for y, you're going to get 0 is greater than or equal to, that's 0, so it's just 6. That's a false statement. So 0, 0 is right here, and that region is not true, so I shade the region above the line. 25, I want to use the cover-up method. I'm going to treat it like it's negative. It's 6x plus 3y equals negative 12. Cover up the 3y, you get 6x is negative 12. X is a negative 2. Cover up the 6x, you get 3y is negative 12. Y is a negative 4. So plot those right here. That's the x-intercept. That's the y-intercept. It's a dotted line because there's no equality. Plug 0, 0 in. So 0 in for x, 0 in for y. You're going to get 0 is less than negative 12. Well, that's false. 0, 0 is above, and it's false. So you're going to shade below. 26. It's an absolute value inequality, so you're going to solve it like an absolute value. You're going to set x minus 2 equal to 0. X is 2. That's the y-coordinate of the vertex, negative 3. 2 to the left is 0. 2 to the right is 4. Plug 4 in for x. You're going to get absolute value of 2 minus 3, which is a negative 1. You're going to get negative 1 when you have 0, when you plug 0 in again. And if we test 0, 0, this is why you get negative 1. If you test 0, 0, you get 0 is less than or equal to negative 1, which is a false statement. 0, 0 is on the inside, but it's a false region, so I shade on the outside. Alright, 27. First equation, third equation, fourth equation. I'm sorry, first, second, and third equation. Anyway, negative 4, folks. When is x allowed to be negative 4? Use the first equation because negative 4 is less than negative 1. So I'm going to plug it into 3x minus 4. It's kind of like the first page. You just got to be careful on which one you use. The second one, x is allowed to be negative 1, so you use the first equation again to get negative 7. 2 is solidly in between negative 1 and 4, so use the second equation. Plug it in there. 7 minus 5 times 2 gives you negative 3. 4, x is allowed to be 4 in the second equation, so you plug it into the second equation. And finally, 5 is bigger than 4, so we use the third equation to get 27. Alright, folks, on the Algebra 2 test, there's 107 points possible. That's a 7% possible curve you can earn. This is 90.9, the quadratic, signing out.